In this section, we're going to talk about marketing strategies and choosing the right one. All right, so we're going to talk about three different specific strategies and what they offer, and it'll give you some insight on what you should choose for your marketing. All right, so choosing a strategy, we have a few different questions here. So, what should your strategy achieve? You want to know exactly what you want the outcome to be. Do you want to make more money? How much more money? What's your plan on market share? Do you want to just break into it? Do you want to dominate it? Okay, you want to ask those sorts of questions and find out what you want your strategy to achieve. How much money are you putting in is a really important question and one of the biggest factors, if not the biggest, of which of these three strategies you're going to choose. How much time do you have? That's probably the second biggest thing because, for the targeted strategy, you need a lot of time so you can really, find your target audience with pinpoint accuracy. Whereas with the top strategy, you're just basically just delivering it virally, and it's just, throwing a bunch of money into it. So you also want to analyze the key properties of your app. All right, so you want to advertise the thing about your app that no one else is doing. All right, what is going to drive people to it? And then you want to set up your monetization plan so that you know exactly how you're going to make money with this application. Are you selling it? Are you going to make money from advertising? You need that path to make profit from it. So the first one we're going to talk about is the top strategy, which is the go big or go home strategy. Okay, so this is by far the most expensive, and it's usually used for wide-ranging types of apps. All right, so mostly things like entertainment, music, games, probably the biggest, things that pretty much anyone can use or will use. And one of the biggest goals for this type of strategy is to get to the top of the App Store or Google Play. You really want to dominate the charts and stay in the top 10 and the top 5. All right. And there was some research in 2013 that it required between 70,000 and 150,000 installations for an app to stay in the top 10. All right, so this is where a lot of your focus is going to go. You really want maximum visibility for your application. All right, so you'll have that initial cash infusion, and then once you get to the top and you kind of level out and you're staying there and people are using your application, your maintenance budget will be much lower than your initial investment. All right, so it's not always, a ton of money. It's pretty much just to get you where you need to be. So next we have the install strategy, and this is more of a slow and steady type of strategy. Obviously, it's much less expensive, and it's used for more niche apps and in-demand apps. All right, so stuff that not everyone would use, and things that aren't really built to be promoted virally. All right, like a weather app isn't going to be advertised, as much as Candy Crush or some kind of, popular game. All right, and target audience is definitely key in this strategy. All right, so you want to narrow it down instead of just, promoting to any and everybody. So it's much more time consuming. All right, you want to build an audience through low cost installations or free installations, however your app works. All right, so you want to set a budget, and it should be a budget that you can pay if you need to. All right, so this type of strategy, it is more tedious and time consuming, but it is an alternative to just throwing thousands or even millions of dollars into marketing. All right, and this strategy is often used as a maintenance budget to a product that used the top strategy. All right, so you might start out with the top strategy, spend a lot of money to get it where it needs to be, and then use this as your maintenance budget or your maintenance strategy. All right, so when we're using the install strategy, you need the lifetime value to be greater than the cost per install. And the lifetime value is the measure of worth that a user has during total use. Okay, so the total amount of time that they are to use your application, what are they worth? How much have they spent? That's going to be the lifetime value. and you always want that to be above your cost per install. All right, so you want to calculate the LTV for a single user, and you also want to keep an eye on your user base. If you do that, then you should have success with this strategy. All right, so next we have the target strategy, which is super targeted. All right, so with the install strategy, yes, target audience plays a big part, but here we're actually targeting users with pinpoint accuracy. All right, we're not being exposed to anyone that doesn't have a need for this application. So you want to target your intended users, and you also want to look for things like blogs, websites, newsletters, pretty much anything that's in your area, in your niche, that you can become, have a relationship with and advertise, promote through their service or their website or whatever it may be. All right, and this helps to pinpoint accuracy. Now, using this strategy, you're not going to spend anywhere near the amount of money you would spend if you were using the top strategy, but you will need to spend some money. Research showed that targeted ad spending will top over $11 billion by 2017. All right, so you will be spending money, but you need to focus more on just really finding the people that you want to advertise to. All right, so another really important tool when using the target strategy, or any strategy for that matter, is retargeting. All right, so there's two common scenarios that are involved when retargeting. All right, so either you want to reattract users who were initially interested in your product but failed to actually install it, or you want to reignite users that did install your app but have ceased using it. All right, so you want to use past or current customers for new sales, and this allows you to build custom audiences, and you can do this through social media. Both Twitter and Facebook have retargeting methods where all you have to do is enter a script tag or implement the SDK, and you'll be able to do social retargeting. All right, and these two links here you can check out. Facebook actually has some modules for retargeting, and this link here is for iOS and this one's for Android, and you'll be able to find information on retargeting in this documentation. Okay, so which to choose? After seeing all three, I'm sure that you have an idea of where you fall. Money is probably the biggest factor. If you have a ton of money and your application can basically be used by everyone, and it would benefit you for anyone and everyone to see your application, then the top strategy is probably the way to go. If you have more time than you have money, then you may want to go with the installs or target strategy. All right, niche plays a huge part because, as I just said, if depending on who you want to advertise to, that will choose which one's right for you. How accurate do you need to be? Okay, so if you need to be super accurate and you don't want anyone seeing it that isn't going to use it, then you probably want to choose a strategy that's geared more toward the targeted. All right, so, and in summary, we have the top strategy is usually for apps and companies that have a lot of money. Their app has a wide range audience, and they'll benefit from viral delivery. The install strategy is very niche, and they make money off low cost installations, and we focus on user building or audience building. Targeted obviously is super targeted, takes lots of time and less money. Okay, so you can basically know at least where you're heading. All right, so that's it for this section. In the next video, we're going to talk a little bit about presenting your app in the App Store.